The Cleveland Cavaliers get out of the All-Star break and get out of the gates very hot after they take down the Brooklyn Nets by a score of 110-97 on the road out in New York. Anthony Maglin alongside my partner and Cavs insider Spencer Davies. Spin. We're back out of the All-Star break. How did that one look? Looked pretty good there in that second half.
Yeah, no, I think that they finally kind of got out of their little funk that was naturally was going to happen out of the All-Star break. Guys obviously off on timing. There was a lot of turnovers going on. But really, that third quarter started picking up when Darius Garland and Jared Allen started getting after it. J.A. was terrific all night, just on the glass, defensively, altering shots, blocking shots, getting his hand in there, making sure that extra possessions were coming. And Cleveland needed all of them, too, because even when they weren't making shots, Jarrett was just giving them opportunities to do that and get more opportunities. And Darius Garland, what more can you say just about the way that he adjusted in the second half? Okay, if my shot's getting altered and they're closing off of these passing lanes, I'm going to take you one-on-one off the dribble, and then I'm going to make you defend me. And here you go, J.A. Here's a nice, easy basket for you underneath. Evan Mobley over here, that's cutting, spraying out to the perimeter. Did a really good job of adjusting. I think that's the story of the game there.
It was awesome. You talk about Jared Allen. Finished the night 16 points, 20 rebounds. 7 on the offensive side, 13 on the defensive side. And this was a typical, Anthony changed the record because guess what? 8 of 9 from the field, double-double. This dude is something special, especially when he gets around the hoop. Now, you talked about that little lull that the Cavs kind of started with, that hangover, if you will. But what really broke it, Spin? We were talking about this before we went on air. I think I don't know it exactly. I was trying to look up the sequence, but if memory serves me correct, it's in the third quarter. Cavs actually went down 6. So it's either 6 or 8 or something, and they come out in like a full court zone pressure, whereas Donovan and Darius just kind of pestering the ball handlers. Donovan actually gets his hands on the ball, almost knocks it away, and then him and Darius were just like sprinting around like water bugs almost, and just kind of in the way. The Nets actually miss a shot, and Strus gets called for an offensive or a defensive foul pushing the back. But it almost felt like that defensive possession like jump-started the Cavs and jump-started Darius Garland, because after that it was like the Darius J.A. show, and it took the Cavs from down 6 to, you blinked, they were +5, and then they finished the run +10 after a timeout. It was a pretty wild sequence and a wild run there.
20-2 run, something like that they went on, and it just got the puppies moving a little bit, Yeah. And then you had a bunch of guys that were contributing. I thought that DeAndre Hunter was really good. He had a couple of, this was in the fourth quarter, but he had a rebound and then a pull-up 3 in transition. And then in the half court, a couple possessions later, he hits a contested 3 off the dribble. Like, this is a guy that we thought was going to be a catch-shoot guy and attacking off closeouts, but this is self-creation. And this is being aggressive off rip, which is good to see because this is only the third game that DeAndre Hunter's played with the Cavs. So you love seeing that. I thought that Isaac Okoro in his return did some really good things, and only has 5 points on the stat sheet, but he did hit his first 3 coming back from that shoulder injury, and then defensively, really solid off ball, and I thought he did a good job on Cam Johnson, and also picking up the pace. I think that's another thing, too, that Cleveland did in the second half, because they were playing at the speed that the Nets wanted them to play at, and in that first half, Brooklyn was doing a great job of just rejecting them and making sure that nothing easy was happening inside. You got to give a lot of credit to Nick Claxton. I thought he had a good game. I thought Day'Ron Sharpe had a really good game too. They did some good things. Trendon Watford, same thing. But the Cavs ended up figuring it out and kind of adjusting, like I said again, and started looking for the pocket. Donovan Mitchell, great feed to Evan Mobley with a 2-hand slam during that run that we talked about in the third. And how about Evan with just breaking his man down and going on a spin cycle and finishing left-handed, just so smooth, buttery handle, and just a beautiful finish.
And when he gets around the rim, he's funny because it looks like he's just kind of like floating around, and then bang, he punches that thing home and does so with authority. Cavs 110-97 winners over the Brooklyn Nets. Appreciate everyone jumping in with us. We got a nice crowd, so if you're in here with us, jump into that comment section. Let us know what you thought of the game. We got a couple comments in here right now. Spin, Cavs are 45-10, right? And this is we talked about this at the end of the break, where it felt like the Cavs had an opportunity for a let-up game, right? They were playing the Raptors, and it was like one of those. We were in Toronto, right before the All-Star break. I joked that the guys probably had their plane tickets in their pockets, ready to go to Cabo, ready to go to Cancun or whatever, just to take the load off. But they dominated. They had a professional output there. You take the first half away, and you really see what a mature championship-style basketball team looks like, because they buckled down. It wasn't smooth to start. You leaned on your star, Donovan Mitchell. Got to give him a lot of credit there in that third quarter, just kind of getting the pace going, getting the guys going a little bit. But again, it feels just like this was another mature outing for this Cavs team that just continues to impress, and they're impressing in different ways night after night.
For sure. And we saw some different lineup combinations too. And I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to pull up my Twitter real quick. But we saw a 5-man unit. I don't remember the last time we saw this one. Darius Garland, Sam Merrill, Isaac Okoro, Max Strus, and Jarrett Allen is really who closed out the game for them. And it did a great job. I thought that Sam Merrill was really good defensively. I know he didn't make shots, but he was certainly, again, just like Isaac, somebody that helped pick up the pace and was pressuring the ball. And that's what happens when they create the turnovers. The first half, it was just, I'm going to go back to this. It was just a lull. It wasn't even just them being rusty out of the break. I think all the challenges kind of made the game a little bit just
weird, right?
Spotty, and it was just kind of in the mud a little bit. And then the second half, get the pace going after, Darius and Jarrett really established themselves halfway through the quarter, and then it was off to the races. Like, I think that having those guys be able to pick you up, anybody really on the Cavs that can find a rhythm and then just uplift an entire team, that's what makes them so dangerous. Like, we didn't even get the best out of Ty Jerome tonight. He got broken down a couple times off the dribble. So what do? You go to Merrill and Okoro and play them a little more. You go to Max Strus, even though, again, he wasn't making his threes the best, but he did pocket a corner three on a beautiful read off a bounce pass from Darius Garland to Isaac Okoro, who find him in the corner. It's just so many different ways they can attack you. Donovan Mitchell, you brought it up. He kind of got him going in the third quarter. He was getting really mad because he was getting hacked coming down the lane a lot, and it clearly was making him a little bit frustrated, and he got to the line. He went 7 to 10 from the stripe. I thought that Donovan, and this has happened like game by game now, it looks like he's trying to cram on people more and more as we get closer to the postseason. Looks like those legs are getting under him just a little bit more. People might stop talking about the whole knee thing. It looks like he's really starting to get some feel back into those legs.
It's truly amazing when he catches daylight, whether it's off a cross or however he catches it. Once he sees just a glimmer of daylight, he's going to go at the bucket, and he don't care who's in front of him. You don't care if it's Prime Shaq or if it's Tim Duncan or if it's, in tonight's case, Nick Claxton. He's going to try to go through you, going to try to go up over you and finish with authority. We're going to get back to that comment you made about looking fresh. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that here in a little bit here. Where I want to go spin right now is one place you can kind of chalk up to being off for a week and a half, being off for a handful of days, is shooting. And this is why I think that I'm going to go back to that statement about this was being like a mature win, a business-like approach. Cavs shot 28% from three. That's not good. They're 11 of 39. We're just going to read through these numbers. Evan Mobley was 1 of 4. Darius, 2 of 6. Donovan, 3 of 9. Strus, 1 of 8. DeAndre Hunter was 2 of 4. He was their best shooter second best shooter on the night. Ice was 1 of 2. And then Ty Jerome was 1 of 1. Sam Merrill is known to be a little streaky, 0 for 5 tonight. But I think you can chalk some of that stuff up to being off for a while. They missed 8 free throws, uncharacteristic, and they shot 42% from the field. Now, why I say that's important is because in a lot of cases, you hear the terms live by the 3, die by the 3. And this is a shot-making league. And sometimes when the shot's not going down, it leads to some bad stuff. But I think credit to a lot of things. Credit to Darius penetrating and using his handle, his dribble to get inside. But also the Cavs realizing, hey, we don't have it from 3 tonight. Let's attack the rim. Let's get to the free throw line. Let's manufacture points until we can start to get some of those threes to fall.
And that's exactly what happened. I was laughing because that 3 that I just mentioned that Strus hit from Okoro from the pocket, it looked like he was looking up at the heavens saying, thank God, after he made that one, which made him 1 of 7 at that point because he missed one later in the quarter too. But that's what you do. If the outside's not working, you start attacking. And that was a strength that Brooklyn had. They were coming into this game having won 6 of 7, and they were doing it with defense. They had the best defense over that 7-game stretch in the NBA. So that is definitely why the Cavs had some struggles to start this game too, I think. Not just the rust, not just the stoppages in play, but also the fact that Brooklyn's just been good defensively. It's okay to give the other team credit. The Cavs were able to adjust and find a way to get to the basket, and I think speeding up the pace and starting to work inside, getting to the free throw line, and then ultimately spraying out, making some backbreaking shots, and ultimately just beating their man one-on-one, I think was a big part of this. And, that goes back to the Mobley move. Jared Allen being available in the paint, Darius Garland doing a great job of dragging his defender down, making sure that he can't help. There's all sorts of things that happen like that. I thought that DeAndre Hunter did a good job of that too, cutting. Off-ball movement, all that stuff, it's going to loosen up the D a little bit, especially as the legs get heavy throughout the game.
It's massive, and seeing the depth that they can go to, seeing the different rotations that these guys can get to is good stuff, especially in this mini stretch where I think we're going to learn a lot about this Cleveland Cavaliers basketball team. It feels like the Cavs get one of these every 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe, where they go through a stretch of games where it feels like they got, I don't know, however the coin flipped or the cookie crumbled, I guess you will. They get some tough matchups. So obviously tonight, a nice little win. Then you got a back-to-back tomorrow against the New York Knicks. Then you go back Sunday against the Memphis Grizzlies. Then you go down to Orlando for a trip to the Magic, where Paolo Banchero just goes for 30 easy tonight, and he's looking strong in his return. And then it finishes this little stretch off with a Friday night date in Boston against the Celtics. And this stretch is going to be really tough. You're on ESPN tomorrow. You're on ESPN on Sunday. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. Looking like the Cavs are fresh. They got fresh legs coming out of the break. Our leading minutes getter tonight was 30 minutes. It was Evan Mobley. Now, juxtapose that to what happened in the New York Knicks versus the Chicago Bulls game, where I don't know if you had, we were looking at the stats a little bit.
I got them on my head now just because I was laughing.
The low man starter was 45 minutes, I think.
No. So Jalen Brunson played 38. Miles McBride played 42. Cat played 43. And then I want to say Mikal Bridges played 44. And then there was another one who had 46. I think it was Precious Achua played 46 minutes. So
it's ridiculous.
The differences in philosophy are clearly there. They did not have OG Anunoby or Josh Hart tonight. So we'll put that into perspective too. But the Cavs clearly had a different philosophy going into tonight. They went with a 9-man rotation before, the subs started coming in at the end of the game. Danny Cunningham reported he's out there right now in Brooklyn that Dean Wade will play against the Knicks tomorrow night, so that should be a good sign. And I think that Kenny will stretch it out to 10 at that point. But the rotational decisions are certainly going to be interesting as we move forward. Slight little mishap there on your part, by the way. They play the Magic at home, so they go Grizzlies, Magic. They go Knicks, Grizzlies, Magic, and then Celtics this coming week. 3 out of the 4 at home. So
we call ESPN. Someone call ESPN right now.
That's in their favor, but at the same time, these are very gritty type of teams. They are very similar to what they saw tonight in Brooklyn. They're going to try and wear you down and play a physical style of basketball. So I think this will be good just as a little tiny playoff prep stretch for them and playing against really solid teams.
I apologize. I'm blurry for some reason.
You're good, man.
Get my camera sorted out, but Spin, looking at this.
Oh, wait, you were right. Never mind. My fault.
Yeah, see, you know what? We're going to have a little chat.
My fault.
We're going to have a little bit of a chat.
We're winging it at this point, Megs.
Hey, now, I got 500 of my best friends in here right now who got my back. No, Spin, as we look at the schedule here, let's look at the next 4. Who I have a thought on this, but I want to give you the floor first. Who are you most excited to see? What matchup are you most excited to get? What with looking at these this competition here? What's one that you got your eyes on?
Well, I'm really excited about this Grizzlies matchup just because I feel like the Cavs and Grizz always have a good game against each other. It's always just it seems like there's just a little bit more to it. I know that Dylan Brooks isn't around anymore. This isn't 2 years ago, but there's just something about when those teams match up, and I feel like they feel very similar in the fact, almost like OKC, the small market team that doesn't get enough love, and they have been at the top of their, conferences the last couple of years. It's a good thing to see those guys kind of, mesh and compete against each other. So I'll be looking forward to that one on Sunday. The Magic, obviously a playoff rematch from last year. Paolo Banchero with 36 tonight. Franz Wagner had a good game tonight, and that's going to be a good matchup as always. Kind of probably remind you of last postseason. See what it looks like with Kenny Atkinson at the helm, and then I mean, how can you not like a game against the Celtics in Boston on a Friday night? Now, come on, that's 1 versus 2. That's possible. Eastern Conference Finals preview. And now you have DeAndre Hunter in the fold. And granted, Dean Wade stays healthy. You're going to have Dean Wade back, the Celtics killer, as we know him as. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a fun week.
It's going to be an awesome week. Really looking forward to that Celtics game to see how we use DeAndre Hunter in those rotations. Obviously, Dean Wade's a part of that. I'm also excited just to see how they match up with the Knicks tomorrow night. I think I hate to play the Knicks, but there's something about the Knicks that I like. They're always gritty, always tough. Jalen Brunson, while he is frustrating to play against and annoying to play against, he's such a good player that he's fun to watch. And I think that the Cavs and the Knicks have had a couple nice battles in the playoffs, and this could be one where you see this could be a quarterfinal match.
Different looking.
Yeah, this could be, who's to say this couldn't be an Eastern Conference final matchup. So very fun to see there. Now, Spin, before we get out of here, something that we haven't talked about on our channel quite yet. Yesterday it was reported that the Cavs signed Javonte Green from the New Orleans Pelicans after a buyout. Now, Green is another long wing defender who can shoot it a little bit, but he's not going to be a heavy minutes guy. Could be somebody who comes in off the bench, gives you good defensive minutes. What's your initial take on the addition of Javonte Green to this Cleveland Cavalier roster?
Yeah, granted it clears waivers. It looks like that he's going to sign with the Cavs. It's just, kind of got to go through that process. I know that Shams Charania and Chris Fedor reported that, but it looks like Javonte is going to be a part of the Cavs. And if so, that's another solid add for them. He's had some really good games for the Pelicans this year. He's been on teams that have competed. Like he was on the Celtics. He's been with the Bulls before. He's obviously ended up in New Orleans this year. Defensively, yes, that's where he makes his money. I think he's athletic as hell. And the shooting piece can be here or there, but in the corners, I think he can be good enough, 38 to 40% in that range. And he's more of a guy that's going to play off ball and really try to loosen up the defense a little bit. And again, using the athleticism. And it's just, he's long. He's only 6'5", but he's long and he's also a pretty strong guy. Mm-hmm. So the Celtics added Torrey Craig off of the buyout market or waivers, whatever it was. I feel like this is a very similar move that the Cavs made. I don't know where Javonte Green would fit into this rotation. I think it might legitimately just be a depth add because they are so stacked at that 2/3 position now. And, you're trying to still get DeAndre Hunter back into the fold. You're trying to get Isaac Okoro up to speed. Dean Wade's coming back. You're not going to take away time from Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and you don't think you're going to take away time from Max Strus and Ty Jerome and Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill's really earned his keep as one of the best defenders on the team. So I think this is preliminary to me is just a depth add for sure. But yeah. I did want to say one more thing too. Congrats to Naquan Tomlin, signed a 10-day contract today.
Give the people 2 minutes on Naquan Tomlin. Teach them about him. You're our charge guy.
Yeah.
Teach the people about Naquan Tomlin.
I can't do this as good as Jackson Flickinger can, but I'll do my best. No, he's done a really solid job. I've seen him in summer league. Good rebounder, solid. Around the rim. I think that he's really improved on his 3-point shot. Defensively, a long 6'9" player can give you that third backup big if you're really looking for it. So we'll see, where this 10-day contract takes him. See if the Cavs decide to go that route or to continue searching on the buyout market. There's not much there when it comes to big men, so I could see it. And Tomlin tonight. Congratulations to him to making his debut. He had a nice little attack with a little fadeaway floater to score his first NBA points after he hit a free throw. It was cool hearing his family chanting MVP in the stands because he's from that Brooklyn area, so that's pretty cool that he made his NBA debut near home. So really cool to see Naquan Tomlin do that. And he's been really good for the Charge this year. He's had a number of really solid games. I think he had a 36-19 game a couple weeks ago. So yeah, just add to the, to the recipe here for Kenny Atkinson and guys that can play.
The more the merrier, right, my friend? The more the merrier. Well, it was a great win for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. A good start to the second half. I say second half of the season. They got like 20 games left.
27 games left.
Yeah, right. So you're definitely on the backstretch of the season. But the goal now, you've said it a couple times. You're going to see that rotation start to trim a little bit. You're going to see guys less of experimenting, more of like calculated. Like, all right, let's get these lineups together for the playoffs. See where DeAndre Hunter fits. See how these guys all fit together, so that it's a well-oiled machine come the middle of April, which is obviously really, really exciting. All right, Spin, we're getting out of here on this. 4 minutes to go, 4.5 minutes to go. You're a confirmed puckhead. United States is tied with Canada 2-2. Are you going to watch the last 4 minutes and potentially overtime?
Go America. Yeah, I'll flip it on. I'll flip it on.
USA.
USA.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you all jumping in here tonight. Got a great crowd, so we're excited to be with you. We'll be with you throughout the remainder of the season. Spin, you're back on site tomorrow night, so we'll have a live show post Cavs Knicks. And as always, ton of content that you can find here. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, jump over to that YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and follow us on both platforms, both channels. YouTube's got all your post-game interviews from coaches, players. It's got Spencer and Spencer's Courtside with the Cavs podcast, shows just like this. We got pre-game shows, all sorts of good content. So jump over there, go check it all out. And then also get over to our website. It's going to roll right below me, right here on the ticker, si.com/NBA/Cavaliers for all of your written content on the Cleveland Cavaliers. But for tonight, we wrap up another Cavs victory. The Cavs beat the Brooklyn Nets 110-197. My partner, Spencer Spin Davies. I'm Anthony Maglin. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on the Cleveland Cavaliers on SI YouTube channel.